Hello, friends, and welcome to the Cinemondo podcast with Mark, Kathy, and me.
I love seeing the Universal lot in the opening. That was cool.
Yeah, who shot that footage? It's
I
really
did.
good.
That's Kathy.
I got lucky, you guys. If you watch the intro, you'll see actually Norman Bates walking into the hotel with the body. So take another look.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
know
cool.
it's very
Pretty
subtle,
fun.
but
Good
there.
timing.
Yeah.
And also
Good
in that
timing.
one shot you got of the psycho house, there's a person standing over there. It looks like Norman.
It's creepy.
I know.
Who is it?
It's creepy.
Oh,
I don't know. Who
It was
is
I
Michael
missed the
Myers.
Universal backlot. I had an office there for a while, and it was so fun to just
Oh.
wander.
I never
and
got tired of that.
I could-
It's so fun.
I used to work so late sometimes. I used to wander around the back lot at night, and there would be like whole families of deer out there, like with the big antlers, and they would just
Yeah.
be walking down the New York streets. It was so
That's,
surreal. It
that's
was
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
like 12
I s-
monkeys or something.
I see flocks
I,
of geese also just like roaming around.
And
So they're very
bunnies
cool.
up there at night. If you go up into the neighborhoods, like, you know where if you drive up there and there's the best little whorehouse in Texas, and then on the left is all the
Yep.
Mockingbird Lane and the Desperate Housewives and
Right.
Munsters and Leave It
Yeah.
to Beaver and Andy Griffith houses and all these houses. At night, if you go up there, sometime jump in a golf cart and go up there at night, there are rabbits everywhere.
That. So funny.
Well,
It's
I've never
weird.
worked there, but I do have a pass here to the studio, the
Yeah.
Universal Studios Hollywood, and I always love the tram. I mean, that's always something
Yeah.
I can
It's
always
totally
do.
worth doing. Yeah.
Because
for
it's an
sure.
hour and I don't have to be walking around. I can just kind of
Yeah.
relax, and you get to see that stuff,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even the latest one is at night, so you might even see deer or rabbit on the last tour. So it's totally worth doing. It's just
And you
fantastic.
will actually. I mean, it's a working lot. You might actually see, someone
Sure.
working on a production being shot. It's pretty cool.
There were
Yeah.
many, many times when I was working on something and we had to sort of hold it for the tram to go through,
Yeah, so funny.
and everybody would always, go up
Yeah.
and talk to. It was kind of funny.
Very
Sometimes
cute.
the actors would go up and talk to the people on the
I always wave to
trams.
them. I wave to the tram thing. Hi. They all wave. Nice.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Yeah.
Anyway.
My
Well, we
friends
gotta-
used to say to people, "Are like, that's Bruce Willis over there," and I used to say,
Oh, that's so funny. That was probably the thrill
people
of their life.
and
I bet.
the standard reaction when people would say, "What are you shooting here?" Everybody would say, "We're making a mayonnaise commercial."
Oh,
Even though if there's like dead
You
vampires in the
guys.
street, there's like the street is full of dead vampires, and it's like, oh, it's a mayonnaise commercial.
Vampires
Yeah.
do not like mayonnaise.
And
That's
then the
like,
one-
you might as
one-
well give it like light.
an older woman on the tram would turn around to her friend and say, "That's a Weisenheimer right there."
Yeah. You're going to hell.
Oh my god.
Well,
that's so
before we get
funny.
into our trailer for the day, let's first let's
Yep.
remind everybody to subscribe, comment, and like to our YouTube channel.
That's right.
We have lots of videos, and we love anytime you guys watch and subscribe or comment. It's so much fun to have that interaction. So we really
And give us a
appreciate it.
super thanks. That's a new
Tell-
thing. You'll see a little super thanks. It gives a little donation to us, which is awesome. And we give your comment, which is now colorful with animation. We give you extra attention. Burke will respond to your comments. We will take requests.
It sounds
I-
super to me.
It's super and it's thankful. And that's what we like.
super and thankful. Super thanks.
We're trying it out. It took a lot of long, hard work to get there, but here we are.
Yes. Well, the film today is called Vikram.
We've been working up to this. We've done
Ah.
a teaser trailer. We've done a making trailer. So
Yeah.
I'm very interested in a full length trailer.
But we're
Yeah,
talking
it-
about all this Hollywood stuff, but this is not a Hollywood film.
It's not.
No, it's a
How is it?
Bollywood. No, it's a Tollywood film,
Ah.
Tamil language. Of course, it's going to be released in multiple languages, but this is a film that's really going to be released on June 3rd.
God,
starring-
they're all coming out in June 3rd.
I know
What
it's
the
a
hell?
big day. Kamal Haasan, who is a big star over there, Vijay Sethupathi, and
Okay.
Fahadh who I've seen before too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I've heard him. All right.
so it looks good. I mean, it looks
Yeah.
like a good cast. So let's check it
Okay,
out.
let's
Vikram.
All right.
Here
We're waiting
we
for the
go.
slate.
Ready?
Yep.
Slated marker.
Roll.
సింగం పులి సిరుతే వేటకి పోతాం మాన్ தப்பிக்க பார்க்கும். ஆனா அதுக்குள்ள அஸ்தமனம் ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா காலையில விடியல பார்க்க போறது யாருங்கிறத இயற்கை தான் முடிவு பண்ணும். ஆனா இந்த காட்டுல யாரு எங்க எப்ப விடியல பார்க்க போறாங்கிறத முடிவு பண்றது இயற்கை இல்ல, நான்.
ரூல்ஸ் அண்ட் ரெகுலேஷன்ஸ் எங்களுக்கு இல்ல, உங்களுக்கு இருந்தா மீறப்படும்.
ஒரு மூடியை கழட்டுறோம்னா இன்னொரு மூடி போட்டவனால தான் முடியும்.
என் சரக்கு என் கையில கிடைச்சுன்னா உன் கவர்மெண்ட்ல நான் வர தேவையில்லை. என் கவர்மெண்ட் என்னால உருவாக்க முடியும். யோ, உங்களுக்கு டெரரிஸ்க்கு என்ன வித்தியாசம்?
One man's revolution is another man's terrorism.
சார், நம்ம வெளியே வராதபடி சந்தனத்தோட சுத்தி வளைக்கிற என்ன சார் பண்றது?
இந்த மாதிரி நேரத்துல வீரங்கள்ல அடிக்கடி சொல்ற வார்த்தை என்ன தெரியுமா? பாத்துக்கலாம். Vikram. Vikram.
Even my dog liked it. Can you see him back there?
He's coming
He
in.
was like, what the hell?
Well, it was grimy, that's for sure.
I love that grittiness. It wasn't a big glossy, hot guys with the shirts off. This was like a gritty crime craziness movie. And I love the song.
It looked a little bit I don't know, like a different sort of set of production values than some of them I've seen.
Yeah.
The usually in the Indian films, Indian action films, the fight choreography, the fight staging is at least powerful and edited in a way and staged in a way that has impact and kind of a dynamics. But the fight staging in this seemed a little bit awkward to me. I don't know if the performers just aren't really good at it, or they weren't trained to hit properly and take punches properly, because it seemed like there were a lot of shots in this where people were doing this and you would hear so it was like and it was a little awkward. And some of the physics of it, like the guy sort of does that and the guy goes flying away from his fist, and it felt like the fight staging was a little awkward.
Interesting.
Yeah,
from a stunt point of view.
Right. Well, I think, a lot of that stuff is like so, at least in the other Indian films that are that's sort of like overproduced, the one stuff this seemed a little bit more, maybe it's just that the actors seemed a little bit older, maybe it's trying to be a little bit more realistic in the sense of the fights, but in a weird way, it's not realistic, because you do have that, there is that penchant to throw in a lot of the sound effects that don't quite match the action. And it's like for emphasis, but I think it's also interesting that they're doing it and trying to do a little bit more lowbrow, or a little bit more, like the street fighting, I guess, as opposed to stuff you see in KGF or RRR, stuff which is so over the top. So it looks interesting in that way. I think, I don't know. I thought the sound was, the music was really weird. Like it didn't feel like a regular song. I mean, you like the song, Kathy? I thought it was, maybe it was the lyrics were kind of funny to me.
I thought the lyrics were funny because it seemed like a soundtrack that would be for like a biker war, like
Yeah,
Sons of Anarchy movie, which I then was applying to the movie and kind of
Gotcha.
liking it in that
Gotcha.
context
Gotcha.
of the kind
Yeah.
of gritty, lowbrow crime families kind of duking it out in a way,
Right.
which I thought was interesting. It was a song in English.
Stunning and gunning.
Stunning
Yeah.
and gunning, because
And
that's what we're doing here.
It kind of had that vibe of George Thorogood, you know how in the
Yeah,
I guess
totally.
it was the 90s when every action film had Bad to the
Yep.
Bone.
Yes.
You know, it was like and it was like, oh god.
Even Terminator 2.
Well, yeah, I think that was the first
Yeah.
time,
Oh,
and
was
so
that
that's
the
why
first time?
everybody
Okay, yeah.
wanted to use Bad to the Bone.
Yeah.
Right.
And that kind of slide guitar, that kind of swampy,
Yeah.
swamp guitar kind of sound.
Roots rock.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
supposed to sound like, gritty and you know.
But I thought that kind of worked for this. 'Cause I think they were going for kind of a low, like a gritty sort of crimey thing
Yeah.
versus big,
Yeah,
glossy
no, I agree.
military.
I guess I was expecting something different. I was
Yeah,
like,
me too.
This is kind of like something I haven't seen before. So,
Yeah,
at least
I kind of
from
like
Indian
those where they're a little bit more realistic, a little more down to earth. Kind of like
Yeah, the people in it.
Zawasipur, which of course is way better. But
Yeah.
I mean, we're only seeing the trailer, but
Yeah.
it had a much grittier, grimier feel. It was a little more like realistic feeling.
Yeah. More
but this
like
one-
a Scorsese movie or
Yes.
something where
Right.
it's
Right.
but this one seems like maybe they're going for something, and like you just said, it's a trailer.
Yeah.
So maybe the film itself is a little bit more finessed than the trailer. And it looks like, there's a bunch, like Mark was saying, it's like a bunch of sort of older guys, and
Yeah.
they're not like, I don't think they're supposed to be like sexy, hot,
No.
badass guys. I mean, maybe badass, but certainly not the, the sexy hot hero.
There's no
These
Hrithik
guys a
Roshan
little
in
bit.
this, or Tiger Shroff,
Yeah,
like-
there's no
Yeah.
Yash in this.
right. So that makes it interesting. Do we have any
Yeah.
posters?
I do not have any posters.
Okay.
We've covered the posters so often in the
Oh,
other
we did.
reviews.
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
true.
there's no new. Maybe when we do another review.
But that's coming out June 3rd, so that might be the last trailer. But
Yeah.
you never know with Indian films because usually they can release 4 trailers in the last week.
Yeah,
Right.
the posters look like, and you can see them in our last reviews. It's the black and white faces cut into panels, and then there's a
Yes.
big orange and yellow kind of a fiery looking background that had kind of a cool kind of stencil type on it. So
Yeah.
it definitely has a grittier look. They aren't going for the big action cell.
Looks fun.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
looks like another action film from India that is
Yeah.
Trying to deliver the goods, but with
Yeah.
a different slant. So
Maybe
Yeah.
a slightly different one, a
Yeah.
little bit of a
Really
different
cool.
vibe to it.
Yep.
definitely. Somewhere between Wasipur and KGF lives the world.
Yeah.
Everybody.
There are films in between.
That's
Yeah.
my blurb. Okay.
There,
everyone
that's
see.
excellent. They're gonna put that on the book.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
All
thanks
right.
for
Thanks, you
watching the
guys.
reaction. We'll see you soon. Take care,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye.